Round 2 of the Phoenix Festival tournament has concluded, so next week we will move into round 3 with some more exciting matches. As stronger characters continue to win, they will get paired up against each other, and next week's matches definitely showcase that, as there are some insane ones to come. But before that, we have some results to go over, and I want to once again thank each and every one of you who participated in the voting, who went to the Google Forms, voted for which character you think would win, and gave your reasoning as to why. I really could not do this tournament without all of your help, and I really appreciate it. Seeing the description and the analysis that you guys put into some of your answers, the paragraphs that you give analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of different characters, how the biomes would play a factor, and all the different possibilities that would factor into your decision as to who would win. I love reading through all of these, and thank you so much for participating. But now into the results. Starting off with the singles category, we have actually a fairly close match. We had Mero Amon narrowly winning against Vernal. This was a 54 to about 46%. A lot of people factored this up to Mero's semblance, that he could use his semblance and fetch to win against Vernal. A lot of people were saying Vernal could win thanks to the biome advantage, but with so many people quoting Mero's semblance being the reason that he would win this fight, it's safe to assume that moving forward, every character is now aware of what Mero's semblance can do, so that might hinder his progress in the tournament, but we'll see, as his semblance is very strong. If he can use it to his full advantage, get opponents to stop moving, and then be able to attack them with fetch, you know, it's a very strong combination, but we'll see how it progresses, as there's a lot of strong opponents for him to fight later on. We then have Neon Cat winning against Milsha Malachite. We have Crow Bronwyn winning against Sun Wukong. Not an absolutely clean victory. There was a couple people that did vote for Sun, quoting that the clones that he has, as well as the speed of his attacks, might be able to overwhelm Crow, but I still think that Crow's experience and the amount of skill that he has would vastly outweigh Sun, and the voting definitely reflects this. We also have Glinda Goodwitch winning against Bartholomew Oobleck. Little battle of the Professors of Beacon, and it seems Glinda does win out in this one. We have May Marigold winning against Yuma. We have Nebula Violet winning against Bronze Knee. We have Banesaw winning against Roy Stallion. In the Battle of Chainsaws, it seems that Banesaw comes out the victor with his chainsaw blade versus Roy Stallion and the buzzsaws that are on his arm. And then we have Lai Ren winning out against D. Lai Ren, newly minted Huntsman, beating the experienced Huntsman D that just barely graduated in his class. This makes sense, but still, it's nice to see that Lai Ren is moving on as well. And these characters are now eliminated. D, Roy Stallion, Bronze Knee, and Yuma are now out of the singles category of the tournament. Then in bracket B of the singles category, we have Coco Adele taking out one of the members of Salem's Inner Circle. She wins against Arthur Watts. In a battle of ranged combat, this does make sense. Coco, with her semblance of hype, energy, and Duja, would be able to overtake Watts, though the way he would manipulate the biomes would still be interesting, and this would be a fight I would love to see play out, but still, Coco takes out Watts. And then we have Elm Edern winning against Peter Port, member of the Aesops, taking out one of the professors of Beacon Academy. We have Maria Calavera absolutely sweeping Leonardo Lionheart. Leo is still a member of Ozpin's Inner Circle. We don't know his full fighting capabilities, but it seems that no one has any faith that he would stand a chance against the Grim Reaper, which does make sense, but still, poor Leo. And then we have Raven Bronwyn winning against Scarlet David. Again, not 100% here, but still I think this is clear that Raven has way more skill than Scarlet, and Raven definitely wins out in this fight. And then we have Bertilac Celadon winning against Rhys Cloris. We have Fox Alistair winning against Trifa. We have Roman Torchwick winning against Octavia Ember. This would be another interesting fight to see play out, but Roman does have more skill in parrying, blocking, etc., and he would just win out. A lot of people were quoting his skill overall, and the way that he could just overwhelm Octavia in any form of close combat. And then we have Harriet Bree winning against Gwen Darcy, meaning that Rhys Cloris, Trifa, Octavia Ember, and Gwen Darcy are eliminated. I'm sad to see Octavia Ember, my favorite character of Team Indigo, be eliminated, but unfortunately this is the way that the tournament goes. And then in bracket C, we have Cinderfall winning against Ilya Amatola. Cinder, even without her maiden powers, is a very formidable fighter, but Ilya can hold her own quite well as well, and it wasn't a clean sweep for Cinder. A few people were saying that Ilya with her Lightning Lash would stand a chance, but Cinder does take the win overall. And then we have Tyrion Callows winning out against Jean Arc. This might be a fight we might see later on in RWBY, and with Jean having more training, be able to use his semblance in different ways, possibly be able to extend his aura and gain more abilities in that way. Maybe the outcome of this fight would change, but for right now, Tyrion with his 5 points of contact and the skill that he has would completely overwhelm Jean, and the results definitely reflect this. And then we have Pyrrha Nikos absolutely sweeping Sage Iana. No one thinks that Sage would have a chance against Pyrrha, and that does make sense. And then we have Velvet Scarlatina winning against Vine Zeki. Velvet, with her versatility, her Anisadora, and photographic memory, beats out one of the ace ops. Now, Vine is very skilled, though we haven't seen him use his weapon at all in the RWBY series. He's only relied on his semblance, and with just the semblance of Vine's, Velvet, being as quick as she is, and with her Anisadora, would just win out. A lot of people were quoting her speed, versatility, etc., that Vine just wouldn't stand a chance. Hopefully in Volume 8 we get to see him use his weapon, more combat fighting styles from him, and maybe the result might change if this matchup ever happens again, but Velvet does take out one of the members of the Ace Ops. And then we have Robin Hill winning out against Kali Belladonna. We have Gira Belladonna winning against Nadir Shiko. We have Yang Xiaolong winning against Nolan Porfirio. And we have Weiss Schnee getting her victory against Neptune Vasilius. Guess Neptune shouldn't have hit on Team Indigo because Weiss dealt a pretty clean victory to him. Wasn't 100%, but very close. So that means that Neptune is eliminated along with Nolan Porfirio. I'm sad to see Nolan go. One of my favorite boys in the RWBY series is now eliminated. We also have Nadir Shiko being eliminated, and the best cat mom, Kali Belladonna, is also eliminated from the singles category. Then we get to Bracket D, where one of the most interesting matches in all of Round 2 took place. We have Ruby Rose and her speed winning out against Nora Valkyrie and her power. We have Penny Polendino winning out against the good luck of Clover Ebby. Penny with her ability to fly, her floating array, the blades, the lasers. This does make sense that Penny ends up winning, but I'm curious to see how far Clover's going to make it in the tournament overall. And then we get the fight that everyone was waiting for, Neapolitan versus Hazel Reinart, and we have Neapolitan winning this fight 68% to 32%. This one would be an insane fight to see play out on screen. A lot of people were saying that Hazel just would not be able to land a hit against Neo, but a lot of other people were saying, well, Neo couldn't deal any damage to Hazel that would be enough to break his aura, and all Hazel would need is a single hit against her, and then her aura would be pretty much broken. But throughout all of this, there was a lot of people quoting various different things about Nia's speed, her semblance, and how she would be able to use that to her advantage, never be able to take a hit from Hazel, and that Hazel, with his powered-up dust, the strength that he has, would be able to just knock Neo out very easily. There was one factor that a lot of people didn't comment on, and I actually didn't comment on when I was going over this fight in the video before. Stamina. Exhaustion. By the end of the Battle of Haven, Hazel was pretty exhausted. When he was running away with Emerald over his shoulder, he was panting, huffing. He was exhausted after that fight. Injecting dust into his body does take a toll on him. Not just his aura necessarily, but his physical stamina. That is definitely a factor, and Neo being able to use opponents' momentum against them, and her not really putting much force into her own fighting style, means that her stamina would last a lot longer than Hazel's. So as Hazel got more and more drained, I think Neo just has more and more of a chance to win this, because she would eventually be able to deal enough blows against Hazel to, reduce his aura to the point of it breaking. A lot of other people were also saying that injecting dust into his body would also start reducing his aura, the constant damage that it would be dealing, and him constantly having to have his semblance active of numbing agent, pain nullification. So yeah, Neo takes this fight overall. This was a very interesting one, and I loved reading through all of the descriptive answers that people had for this fight and how it would play out, why different characters would win, why Hazel would win, why Neo would win, but Hazel loses in this fight. But he'll still have another chance to make it to the grand finals, as he'll be moving into the losers bracket of Bracket D. And then we have Yatsuhashi Daichi winning against Junior Zhang. We have Sienna Khan winning against Dudley. We have Carmen Esclados winning against the little cinnamon roll Oscar Pine. We have Bolin Hori winning against Melanie Malachite. And we have Fiona Time winning against Dove Bronzewing. So the characters that are eliminated is Dudley, of course, but Oscar Pine is also eliminated, Melanie Malachite is eliminated, and Dove Bronzewing, the most skilled member of Team Cardinal, is now eliminated. And lastly, moving to bracket E of the singles category, we have Ozpin winning against Blake Belladonna. Due to the massive amount of experience that he has and the speed that he's displayed, not only while fighting Cinder, if we take the magic out of that, he still has an incredible amount of speed, but also when he was possessing Oscar's body, the speed that he had when fighting against Hazel. So yeah, Ozpin does win this fight. And then we have Winter Schnee winning against Amber. We have Talk winning against Mercury Black, this only being about 70% to 30%. A lot of people had faith that Mercury would pull out the win with his experience as an assassin, the training that he has, the speed that he has, being able to outlast Talk and maneuver around the battlefield, but Talk with her ferocity does just take out Mercury Black. And then we have Arsalan Altain winning against Flint Cole. We have Adam Toros winning against Garden Winchester. We have James Ironwood completely destroying Sky Lark. We also have Emerald Sustrai completely destroying Russell Thrush. Man, Team Cardinal's really not getting the best matchups here, and they're getting absolutely destroyed. And then we have Dugale winning against Mei Zedong. So the final characters eliminated in the singles category this week are Mei Zedong, Russell Thrush, Skylark, and Cardin Winchester. All of Team Cardinal got eliminated in round 2 of the Phoenix Festival tournament. I feel kind of bad for them, but it kind of does make sense overall based on the matchups that they had. So with all of these results, moving into round 3, some of the matches that you could look forward to are ones such as Crow Bronwyn versus Glinda Goodwitch, Maria Calavera versus Raven Bronwyn, Pyrrha Nikos versus Velvet Scarlatina, Ruby Rose versus Penny Polendina, and Ozpin versus Winter. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fights to look forward to. Not to mention there's also Mercury Black versus Ironwood, there's Cinder Fall versus Tyrion Kalos, there's also Yang versus Zhang. You know, there's a couple interesting fights as well, like Vernal versus Lai Ren and Port versus Roman Torchwick. So, yeah, round 3 for the singles category is gonna be nuts, and I'm so looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite fight in round 3 is going to be. I'll leave a link in the description below as well to each of the tournament brackets so you can see the updated brackets and what matches you can look forward to in round 3, because this is getting more and more fun as each round progresses, as different characters and different matchups that I hadn't thought about before are coming up. So this is getting really exciting. I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well, but now we need to move into the results of the doubles category. In bracket A, we have Glinda Goodwitch and Sun Wukong winning against Coco Adele and Russell Thrush. The amount of experience that was on Glinda's team just makes sense, and Glinda's semblance, being the powerhouse that she is, does win out against Coco and Russell. And then we have Weiss Schnee and Fox Alistair winning against Emerald Sustrai and Robin Hill. Fox being a hard counter to Emerald's semblance, and Robin, she's still a very skilled huntress, but we don't know all of her fighting capabilities. We haven't seen her in a just straight-up brawl, a really detailed fight just yet. She did have the fight in Volume 7, fighting alongside Crow and Clover against Tyrion, but she was more of a support role in that one. I really want to see her 1v1 someone and end up winning, displaying her skill in close combat, etc. But for this match, Robin and Emerald are eliminated. And then in bracket B, we had Tyrion Kalos and Ruby Rose versus Hazel Reinart and Bartholomew Ublek, and Tyrion and Ruby took the win. Hazel is now eliminated from the doubles category tournament. He had a very strong partner being Bartholomew Ublek, but with Tyrion and Ruby, the amount of speed that both of them have would be able to overwhelm Hazel, and one of them could deal with Ublek. There was a lot of different scenarios proposed for this fight in the comments on the Google Forms, but still, this would be an insane fight to see play out on screen, but it does seem that Tyrion and Ruby are moving on. And then we have Junior Zhang and Penny Polendina winning against Vine Zeki and Nebula Violet. We have Crow Bronwyn and Pyrrha Nikos winning against Lai Ren and Roman Torchwick. I'm sad to see these two get eliminated, but the powerhouses that are Crow and Pyrrha fighting together, this does make sense overall. And then we had Maria Calavera and Mero Amon winning against Yuma and Yatsuhashi Daichi. As sad as it is to see Yatsuhashi be eliminated going up against Maria and Mero, it's going to be a tough fight for anyone to win, so we'll see how it plays out in the next match, in round 3, but yeah, this one's going to be interesting as well. Then we move to bracket D, where we have Mercury Black and Raven Bronwyn winning against Talk and Ilya Amatola. Although Talk was able to win against Mercury in the singles category, in doubles category things are a bit different, with the partners now playing a factor. Mercury having the stronger partner of Raven Bronwyn versus Talk fighting alongside Ilya Amatola. Talk is still not going to be an easy opponent with the speed and ferocity that she has in battle, not to mention her semblance of invincibility for 60 seconds, but having two characters fight against her, one being able to fight against her partner and one being able to occupy Talk while her semblance is active, definitely means that Mercury and Raven have a much better chance and would come out the victors in this fight. And then we also have Winter Schnee and Carden Winchester winning against Neon Cat and Peter Port. In bracket E, we have Cinderfall and James Ironwood winning against Nora Valkyrie and Sage Ayana. The powerhouse team that is Nora and Sage just gets beaten out by the speed and power that is also Cinder and Ironwood. And we have Sienna Khan and Mei Zedong winning against Dove Bronzewing and Banesaw. So the winners of these matches will move on to round 3, and after round 3 in the doubles category, we move on to the grand finals. We are almost to the end of the doubles category in the tournament, and things are shaping up to be very interesting with these powerhouse teams going up against each other. For round 3, we do have a couple of interesting matchups, such as Glinda Goodwitch and Sun Wukong fighting against Weiss Schnee and Fox Alistair. It's going to be very interesting to see how this team matches up against each other and the different scenarios that people propose. And we also have Crow Bronwyn and Pira Nikos versus Maria Calavera and Mero Amon. Looks like Crow's going to get a fight against the legendary Huntress, the Grim Reaper, the one that he idolized. And then Pira Nikos also fighting against Maria Calavera and Mero Amon on top of this. This is going to be another very interesting matchup. Everyone knows Mero's semblance by this point, or we're going to assume that they do, so it'll be very interesting to see how each of these factors will play a role in your decision-making moving forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the doubles category is going to turn out, and the grand finals being less than 2 weeks away. This is going to be very exciting. But for now, we do have some results in the team category to go over. And in match 1, we have Team Goop winning against Team Juniper. Even with Pira Nikos, her semblance of polarity and the skill that she has, fighting alongside Jean, Ren, and Nora as they have trained up to the end of Volume 7, being fully licensed huntsmen, training alongside the Ace Ops, they do not defeat the professors of Beacon Academy. With Glinda Goodwitch, Ozpin, Bartholomew Oobleck, and Peter Port, they are just too skilled and do win out over Team Juniper. And then we have Team Stark winning against Team Haze. Team Stark does have Summer and Tai Yang, characters that we don't know their semblances or weapons, and we are considering them a step below Crow and Raven Bronwyn, but a lot of people were saying that with just the misfortune that Crow has, his semblance, and Raven's kindred link, being able to create portals around the entire battlefield, having their team jump through, being able to use that to their advantage, is just enough to overwhelm Team Haze. The remainder of the Aesops being Harriet Bree, Mero Amon, Vine Zeki, and Elm Adern, they are a cohesive team. Team RWBY versus the Aesops wasn't really great to show their team cohesion, as they were very stressed out under a lot of pressure, finding out that Atlas is pretty much under siege, that all of their long-range detection has been taken out, Salem's on her way. Just going through that entire experience, they were a bit rattled, and they also weren't fighting without Clover, their good luck charm, so they were at a bit of disadvantage there. Team Haze would be a lot more cohesive here, but Team Stark is just a more cohesive and skilled team according to people's decisions. So Team Stark does take the win in this one. And then in match 3, we have Team Burns winning against Team Coffee. Team Coffee does take the loss here. A lot of people saying that Mercury and Emerald have already won against Yatsuhashi and Coco already, but it was a lot more than that. A lot of people were analyzing the different matchups that could possibly result from these two teams fighting each other, as Team Burns is full of agile fighters already, with Roman Torchwick and his ability to parry and counterattack, and Neapolitan being the powerhouse that she is, using opponents' momentum against them, as well as the acrobatics she displays in battle. All of them are just very fast fighters. So depending on how this matched up, even if it was 1v1, 2v2, and how the teams broke up fighting each other, there was just more advantageous matchups for Team Burns versus Team Coffee. I was really happy to see so many people putting so much analysis into this fight, and although I don't want to see Team Coffee lose, it does make sense. Team Burns does take the win here with the amount of skill that each of these members have, because they are a highly skilled team, as is Team Coffee, but Team Burns just comes out the victor in this matchup. And then we have Team Silver, created by Mark Zhang, winning against Team Midnight. Link in the description below to all of the Silver trailers. All of them are incredible. I highly encourage you to check them out if you have not done so already. And they end up beating Team Midnight. The amount of skill that they have displayed in each of their trailers is just more than we have seen from the Happy Huntresses. Plus, the Happy Huntresses' semblances aren't necessarily combat-oriented, and Team Silver would be able to overwhelm them. Then in match 5, we have the expected result, with Team Esprit winning against Team Funky. Literally every member of Team Esprit is the superior of Team Funky, being, you know, either Atlas military or leaders of the school and academy itself versus students of the school. So Team Esprit does take the win over Team Funky in this match. And then in match 6, we have Team Ashbury winning against Team Sun. Team Ashbury would just have a lot more team cohesion, and a lot of people were saying that Sienna and Gira, just being the powerhouses that they are, not to mention that Sienna would just get stronger and stronger as the fight went, they would be able to overwhelm Team Sun and would end up being the victor. Then in match 7, we have Team RWBY winning against Team Dark. Team Dark, created by Raxacory. Links in the description below to all of their trailers as well. Make sure to check them out. They are incredible. I did a full analysis of their team. I'll link that up above as well. But Team RWBY, with the team cohesion that they have and the amount of skill that they've trained up to at the end of Volume 7, they just end up winning. A lot of people said the similar thing that I said, that if they hadn't got the training from the Aesops, Team RWBY would not have a chance in this fight. But at the end of Volume 7, the amount of skill that they now have does match up and surpasses Team Dark. They would be able to win, but once we find out more about Team Dark, the results definitely might change in this fight, because Team Dark is a highly skilled team, and I really look forward to learning more about them. And then in our final match of the teams category in round 2, we have Team Witch winning against Team Ambit. This just makes sense because Team Witch is all of the members of Salem's Inner Circle, and Ambit does have Adam Toros, who is a powerhouse, but unfortunately his team does not have the cumulative skill that Team Witch does. So Witch does take this fight overall. So these are the results of round 2 of the Phoenix Festival tournament. Let me know in the comments below which match surprised you. Were there any results that you didn't expect, that you thought certain characters would win over others? And let me know what matches you are looking forward to most in round 3, because there's a lot to look forward to, especially in the singles category, as some of them are going to be insane. And it's only going to get more intense as things move forward, as the stronger characters win and face off against each other. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to the future rounds of the Phoenix Festival tournament. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with everything going on. Tweet me at PhoenixKnight7, join our Discord server, link also in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.